Hello everyone. Today we have three special guests, two members from IIM Bangalore's inaugural batch of postgraduate program for business analytics and another friend from the current batch. Could you guys introduce yourselves please? Anusha.
Hi, I'm Anusha. I joined the first BA batch in IIM Bangalore. To give a brief introduction about myself, I did my engineering in computer science in Ramaya in Bangalore, post which I worked in a networking firm in the IT for 2 years. I was so glad I got a call from BA because I thought it was a bridge to my computer science career, and now I'm here at IIM Bangalore.
Right. How about you, Niranjan?
Yeah, hi all, I'm Niranjan. I hail from Chennai. I did my BTech in chemical engineering from IIT Guwahati. Post that I was working as an analyst with top of the tech company. And then I got a chance to join this program. It was quite new for us. It was a completely new program that started. And I'm pretty much happy to be actually a part of it.
Right. Sarthak.
Yeah, so hi, I actually hail from Bikaner in Rajasthan. I was born and brought up there, and I had an inclination towards science technology, so I joined IIT Delhi in 2015. I did electrical engineering from there, and then I started working with a market making and algorithmic trading firm in Mumbai, Voltaire Advisory Services.
Right.
I worked there for almost 2 years, and then I decided, I need a little bit more understanding on business side, and hence I joined IIM Bangalore in this business analytics.
Right. So Sarthak, I'll not beat around the bush. Let's jump to the good part. Now, why did you choose PGPBA?
Yeah, so for me, as I said, I'm very technologically oriented person. I believe in the idea that data-driven businesses are gonna rule the future. In fact, even today you see the top most countries in the world are about data and data and data. So that was my future outlook, you can say. So that's why, and also I didn't want to, stop. I didn't want to completely go out of the analytics side. So that's why I think this program fitted really well into it, and it has a mix of both business understanding as well as analytics. So I joined it.
Right. How about you, Niranjan?
So quite of my answers would match with what Sarthak had said. So we would want to be at the junction of both the worlds, be tech and the management discipline. So in our work, also after a point of time, we were building products linearly, some 0 to 1 and everything was there. But after a point, the scalability or how to expand, how to make it to a complete new business altogether, there was a point at which we got stuck. And that is a point when I had a small discussion about this program with my own VPs in my office. They're pretty much surprised and they kind of encouraged me towards it. So they were like, okay, they kind of understood, okay, what was I missing as a person in the office? So they were like, okay, you should go for it. So that was a word that I got from them, and pretty much, so it keeps us in the balance of both the worlds, and that's the best part of it.
Right. Anusha.
I don't know what extra I should say. And as a computer science engineer, I think I've always wanted to be related or associated to tech at any point in my life. And, business was something that was not seen in a computer science engineer's life because we always sat behind the desk doing our stuff. So business was very important, and that's why I actually wanted to pursue MBA. And this was pretty much the it was a luck for us that PGPBA was introduced when we wanted to do something like that, and I definitely think it's a very good bridge for anybody who is in this core computer science field to move ahead in their life in terms of being a good manager and still be associated with tech.
Right. So Anusha, let's move back in time. It's the first time IIM Bangalore is offering PGPBA, and you're set to join. Now, let's move further back in time. You're writing the CAT. How did you prepare for that? And further, also share with us, how did you prepare for the interviews, specifically the PGPBA interview?
Okay, so let me first take the CAT question. I did not have specifics about how to prepare for BA back then because CAT was common and we wanted to prepare for MBA, and it was a common prep. We focused on all three sections of CAT, and that's how our preparation went. And we did take a lot of mocks, but when we saw PGPBA in the course list, then that was the point where we felt that there has to be a push from understanding math better, statistics and probability better, because this course demands that from its core, right? So preparation for CAT as such is very common to how anybody would do. But post that, for the interviews part of it, I think it's important that somebody getting into business analytics, they have an idea of what basic math and statistics are, because the core of business analytics is statistics.
Right.
So I think that's how the interview prep went.
Right. How about you, Niranjan? How was the CAT prep? How was the interview prep for you?
Right, so the CAT prep, Anusha had covered it most extensively. So it's kind of the same, the regular PGP CAT you prepare for the MBA at IIMs and other management institutes. So apart from that, let me cover a bit on the interview prep. So since we kind of got to know about this program, what it entails, and with a little bit of what we could know, what we could fathom of what this could be, and it was clear that this is an analytics-oriented program, and it's more about data, mostly about your understanding of what statistics is, the mathematics part of it. And basically, if let's say Anusha is from the tech background, I was from an analytics background, so I'm pretty sure that the questions were on to be our basics. Are we knowing what we are? So it kind of gave us a chance to kind of strengthen what we knew. So the interview prep was based on that. That's what I would say. To brush up on all of math and stats is the first line to start.
Sarthak, you had some sort of guidance probably from these guys, but how was it for you?
Yeah, so for me, the CAT experience was as usual, right? It's mostly, mix of giving mocks and doing some practice. But interview was quite different compared to, I think, what people give for PGP programs across. So it's, as Anusha said, it was mostly on statistics, probability. But there was one more element which I want to point out is they are looking for people who are really motivated for this course. Right. For business analytics, I was driven because I have worked in a finance field, which did use big data, and that was my motivation. Like I wanted to be in that side and still do analytics, but wanted to learn new techniques, as well as I wanted to go into the management side and the business side, as I said. So I think that was one thing which a lot of conversation happened on that stuff in my interview.
Right. So you guys have aced your CAT now. You've prepared for the interviews, and now is the D-Day. How was the interview experience, Sarthak?
For me, it was pretty smooth. All the professors, whoever was there in the panel, everyone was very, they made us very comfortable into it. And they were also looking for good candidates. And having a good background, I was pretty confident as well. So I did take it very candid. I was very honest. I was brutally honest about everything, all of my opinions, everything. And they were also very acceptable of it. And I would suggest, people who are giving those interviews this year, definitely they should be do the same.
Right. Thanks for that advice as well. Niranjan, how about you?
Yeah, I feel good that Sarthak got a very good panel. So frankly, in my panel, the professors they tried to kind of well down to it. Maybe it was the first batch, so they wanted to really check it out. It was a bit tough in the sense, not tough as in the conceptually tough, but the questions were very focused and very narrowed down to what you know about things. So it was not. So they were clearly on what they wanted to know from you, and they want precise answers. Any kind of beating around the bush was not encouraged, and they would want to know yes or no. Do you know it, and how do you know it? So that was a very good experience actually, because that kind of helped me understand, okay, this is what they're exactly looking for. And during the interview, the questions were more about the math and stat understanding. And as Sarthak said, if I didn't know something, they were okay with it. But they would want us to know, if you don't know something, you should know that you don't know it. That is something which is really important, is what I'd say.
I'll not prod on what I think has a backstory, because I could see a hint of smile on Anusha's face. But yeah, Anusha, your interview experience.
Okay, I think mine also went fairly well, and I had one of the pros who took my interview for one of the subjects I had. And they're very different in the interview and in class. And in interview, what they actually try to do is they try to test you on based on what you know, and not based on what you don't know. So we should know that that they're going to test us based on what we already learned, and we should just be thorough with what we have done before. So it's important that if you have a resume already made, and if you have a better understanding of what you have done in your projects, I think that's pretty much what they want to know about you. Because there's no point to test you based on something that you don't know. They're not going to ask you something beyond that, right? So I think it's important that we maintain our calm and composure during the interview, so that your answer gets clearly, delivered in a way that they really wanted. And like you told, it has to be very crisp, right? And that's all they expect. In math, we don't want globe, and we just want answers to the point. And interviews also go that way. And so it had to be that way. It had to be casual, plus it had to be professional and crisp. And it's something that we already know, and we have to be confident about that.
Right. Actually, guys, all your answers lead me to my next question. I had not planned on this, but probably you guys had calls from other colleges and other courses as well. I mean, given that the CAT exam was common. So I'll start with you, Anusha. How did you choose that PGPBA is the course for you? Yeah.
Okay. So to give a rough comparison of how my decision was made. So you have courses that on the fundamentals differ in certain ways, right? And you have to make a choice on where you see yourself. Let's say 5 years, 10 years down the line, in which field. And when you have a course as specific as PGPBA, which is giving you a specialization in business analytics, so the call that you have to make is this where you see yourself 5 years down the line, right? And a course like the other course that we have is PGP. So in PGP, you do have choices to make in the second year where you would like to figure out what you do, what you want to do, get into marketing, get into finance, or anything of that sort.
Right.
But in BA, you have the clarity on what you're going to pursue, what your core will be in the second year. So if that is going to be your base, if you feel that it is going to bridge your past experience, or if you feel like business analytics is your thing, then why not BA? Because you already have a clear path that is aligned to your interests. So this was basically my choice or my decision. If I had to get into something that was core and which aligned with my interests, versus is something that I wanted to take my time in and then decide if I want to choose one of the other fields.
Right.
So yeah.
So you had that clarity right
Correct.
at the point when you had to make that decision. That's really, really good to know. How about you, Niranjan?
So in my case, it was again similar to Anusha's thing, but in a way that I was pretty clear that I want to build upon something that I already have. So and I feel that an MBA, I was looking for an MBA to kind of build upon what I was, an additional layer of about that, and I could start building on that. So it was my career revolved around tech, the data, the math part of it, and all those things. So what I was missing was the business part and scalability. So instead of trying to go and explore and then trying to do an MBA, what I felt was this is a really great program where I could kind of have what I have and then try to build around it so that and take it to the next level that's possible. And as Sarthak mentioned, literally every business today is going to be data driven or not cease to exist. So it's a strong statement, but that is what has been inspiring the current companies right now. And I firmly believed in that also. So I would kind of envision myself to be in that person, to be a data-driven leader who could lead teams, the new age teams that could transform into the next generation of technology, along with the business mindset.
Right, got that. And for our viewers who are getting a lot of glimpse into the life of IIMB in the background, I'll just say that we're recording for the first time in person, and we hope that the noise does not cut out what all insights our guests have for you. Over to you, Sarthak.
Yeah, so I think Anusha and Niranjan has covered pretty much of it, but I would try and talk about the process of it, right? So yes, I was myself motivated, but there was other side of it which I wanted to know from people who are already experienced in industry or who have already done this kind of a course. So of course I did talk to these people. Of course, they are my 1 year senior to me. So they gave me pretty good advice on it as well. And I had my friend in MIT Sloan who did the same MBA in business analytics from there. And I wanted to get that perspective from him as well. So he did definitely, motivate me for this. And of course, my self-motivation was there. As I said, everything is going to be data-driven. I didn't want to, give up the analytics or what I had learned. I wanted to carry it forward. And when I looked at the curriculum, I was really, really, motivated again to do this because the first 2 terms are absolutely what business studies means. It's marketing, it's organization design, finance, right. Everything. So that's why I thought that it's a great mix of both. Instead of going for an MS, which was my another option, I think this was great and I grabbed it. So.
What a big plunge you guys are able to take because of the clarity you have. But okay, so is there any advice you would have specifically for people who are coming in now? And one difference I would like to highlight to you people is that my understanding is that you had 2 separate interviews for the PGP course and the PGPBA course at that point in time. But I believe going ahead, there might be a time where the PGP and PGPBA interviews would be common. So in that case, is there specific to that, and even apart from that, is there any advice you would like to share with our viewers? Niranjan?
So first, I mean, we cannot really comment much on the common part of it. That Sarthak will be able to cover much in that aspect. So from trying to make that choice, let's say in our case, maybe we were already from that decision point of view that we were pretty much clear on what is to happen. And this is perhaps for audience who might be a bit confused as to, may not be even, let's say they belong to that background, they may not, but still they are not a bit clear on the decision. So because we have a lot of our friends in our same batch who are not really from the tech or analytics background, they still took this course and they're really enjoying the course and they're shining a lot in this. So what you need to see is, you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years. What kind of suits you and what is the vision of you? So if you see that, okay, I love tech and I want to be a part of it. Maybe before that I didn't do it, but here's a good chance that I could improve on it. Then here's a course for you. Or if it's a person that you kind of want to explore this, you've been doing on that, you're not really sure, but still it looks like a good favorable career, then you can obviously go for it. So these kind of decisions, these kind of questioning among themselves, this kind of interception can help people to decide, okay, is this the right fit for me? So these small questions about themselves, about where do they look themselves in 10 years down the line, that will help them take the choice.
And in terms of preparation?
Preparation, see, one thing I was very clear about it, the questions were not related to any coding or anything very deep in data science and anything at all. So first things in MBA or any curriculum, your basics matter the most. So are you good at what you know and do you know what you do not? So that is the really important fact. And our questions used to be like during the interview, okay, if it is a Gaussian curve, how do you figure out what is that thing? So this was to primarily eliminate a lot of junk information or anything that you don't know. And if you know something, are you dedicated towards it? Like as Sarthak also told. So how much is the motivation or the kind of drive that you have towards these things? So in that way, I don't think preparation should be an issue. Maybe a month or so should be sufficient.
Right. Anusha, your take.
Yeah. So adding on to what Niranjan said, so PGPBA as a program is not going to make you an engineer again, right? That is not the motive of introducing this program in a business college. So ultimately, you are going to become a manager. You are going to be someone who takes decisions. So with the kind of case studies that IIMB provides to students, basically the case studies in a BA specific course is just going to cover aspects of how you analyze data, how you can visualize data, and how you can give meaning to data, give it some information, and then convey that to someone who does not understand what they are actually collecting or how they can utilize it.
Right.
So this is pretty much what the course has been doing across different subjects. So basically, it does not demand any computer science knowledge or let's say coding knowledge or anything deep down which someone does not know. So the preparation should ideally be how a manager would prepare and anybody else in IIMB would prepare. But just that you focus a little bit more on data, how you collect it, how you can process it, and some tools that will help you visualize it better. So this is how it is going to happen. So it is a process that you learn over the course, and it has nothing to do with coding, being technically skilled or knowing tools in advance. Nothing of that sort is required. So I think this is one major thing. And coming to the question where we'll have to make a decision, right? Someone who is not, let's say, who has no clarity, and most of us, for that matter, still do not have clarity if this is what we want in life. Some of them have come to IIMB doing this PGPBA program, but still maybe do not want to continue in analytics. So what is in store for them? So, if you do not have clarity, it's okay. I think it is okay to not have clarity. And this course is actually going to tell you what you really want to do and also what you really do not want to do further, right? So BA can help you that way also. Maybe math is not your strong field, maybe this particular field will not fit you, and that's still okay because you have immense opportunities right after you move out of IIMB to do anything that you want to do, right? So as a person from BA, I have gone into a product manager role. So I think it is not associated with BA per se, but still I can proudly say that whatever I have learned in BA will help me in my tech role that I have taken up. So it is to be seen as a platform where you can actually learn something to leverage your skills, plus whatever you become from now. You can become an analyst, you can become a PM, you can become a consultant or whoever. And I think this course is really going to help you with the basics of what data science can do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Lot of key insights, and I'll ask Anusha to hold on to that opportunities thought. One thing which really struck me was this is not engineering all over again. They want you to look at the bigger picture, and we'll discuss this with Sarthak as well. And another thing is, I would like to share from my end is I know that PGPBA students and candidates have gone through a 2 weeks, right, preparatory course? Yeah, a 2 week preparatory course where you are introduced to the basics that you would be required to cover in the course. This is not something which is eliminative of any background, and people from across backgrounds can apply to this course. Sarthak, over to the original question with you.
Yeah. So first, I would like to add something to what Anisha has said. Absolutely, this is not engineering, right? And being from one of the most tech-heavy institutions or the most tech-advanced institution in this country, I can say this: I did an ML course, machine learning course in my college as well, and I did it here this term, and it's absolutely different. Like, you cannot expect mathematics to, you can't learn mathematics of machine learning here. Actually, you can, but what's more relevant here is how do you apply it in business? Where do you apply it in business? How do you seek opportunities in business where you can apply these models and generate money for the companies?
Right.
So I think that's a big and a major difference, and I did come for that, so I'm very happy for this. And the second thing, coming back to your question regarding the common interviews between PGP and PGPBA.
Right.
So for our batch, which was 2020, so we did have common interviews. So people who had got shortlist for PGP as well as PGPBA, they had a common interview.
Right.
There were certain specific questions within the interview which they asked the candidates to assess whether they will be fit for a BA or not. But in general, whatever you prepare for a PGP interview is the same for you have to prepare for the PGPBA interview as well.
Okay.
And at the results time, they give an offer for both of them. If you're shortlisted for both of them, it's not like they will select you for one of these. They will select you for both if you are fit for both, and the final choice will again be yours. So
Right.
that's it.
I'll hold you there. One small correction. This is 2021 batch that 2021 is where Sarthak started. And Sarthak, now help me understand. In the interview, I'm asking you questions. Do I specifically say, okay, now this is the part where we are testing you on your PGP BA course, or is it a smooth transition, or do you not even get to know if it's a transition at all? How does it work?
As far as I have talked to people and my experience, I think it's very smooth. You don't even know whether they have started it or not. They will
Okay.
mix and match the questions. In the panel, there will be both kinds of people who will be asking you questions. So, and in fact, in certain cases, they didn't even ask any questions on stats and probability. That also had happened.
Right.
So it's like you will not be said that now we will start your interview for PGPBA.
Right.
It's a single interview.
Right. Great. Okay. So one other question that I had for you guys. Now this is a new batch, and this batch also is small in numbers, in the sense that out of the 500 plus students that get into IIM Bangalore every year, we have around 40 to 50 people who get into PGP BA programs. Is there any sort of challenge that you guys have faced before coming here, after coming here, or any sort of distinction that you felt that the institute is making for PGP BA candidates? Niranjan, if you could start.
Right, so first thing, there's literally not much of a difference between PGP and PGPBA. We are the same program here on the campus, the 2-year MBA program, the basic MBA same, everything is kind of going to be the same. Our program is just going to be different in the way that we kind of do a bit some different courses. And even in that courses, PGP students again join us as electives.
Right.
So it's going to be the same batch with just a few students specializing in analytics. That is it. There's nothing of no difference as such in any way. And be it everything, be it the campus participation, it's the same thing. We live in the same hostels, we're the same people, we're in the same sections. It's going to be all a complete mixed fun. Now coming to the other challenge, obviously we were the first batch. So that anxiety was there. What could happen? That was there. And of course the pandemic hit. The 2020 was the year that we joined, and that was the peak of the pandemic that started.
Right.
So these anxieties were there, but I would say fortunately they didn't materialize enough. So it just stayed as our anxiety when it started. So in the end it didn't really matter. So we had the same opportunities, and everything is going pretty good for us.
Right. Sarthak.
Yeah, so I'd like to touch a bit upon the courses aspect of it. Like Naranjan just touched it as well. Like, we have a certain specific courses that we have to do in analytics, because we have made up our mind before coming here that this is something where I see myself 10 years down the line. Right. But there are other courses as well which we can take, and we can take it across any there are many general electives we can take, and the classes are common. You sit with the PGP students. There is absolutely no distinction. Even for me as well, till first term I don't remember anyone many people didn't know that I was from BA batch, because
Right.
it's such a coherent group that you work with them in projects, you work with them in class. So I don't think there is any difference absolutely in terms of experience at all.
Anusha, what's your take on this?
Okay, so I would like to touch upon two things. Because this course is very new, you might not have a lot of people that you can approach and talk to, right? So people feel it's a bit difficult for them to get more information about the course and who they should approach. And I think that was scary in our batch, because we did not have seniors who could help us with this. Starting from, what if this course will be nice, if it will not be nice, can we take it up, how will the placements be? So we had no idea on how any of this would be, because we were the first batch. But I think our batch was something like, it was very special, because we learned through the process and we could actually give professors first hand feedback on how the courses were, and certain changes where we were happy to see certain changes reflecting in the immediate next batch, Sarthak's batch. So I think our comments and feedback is actually valued here. And being, I think, probably the first 4-5 batches, it actually helps you learn a lot more, and it also helps you contribute more to this particular course, and you can proudly say that you were pioneers in this particular course. So this is one thing that I actually learned. And another thing is in terms of representation. Like Sarthak already mentioned, networking is very important in MBA, and I think PGPBA is not going to be any hindrance in terms of networking with anybody in the campus.
Certainly.
You you use the same hostels, and you take the same courses in the first year. Only in the second year, there are few compulsory courses that you will have to take, and I think it will not be a problem. Although the courses do seem to be heavy, only because they are going to add more math to your life, and someone who's not very good at math might find it difficult. But I think it is still okay if you're enjoying the course. As long as you enjoy the course, I think it's still fine. And in terms of the elected bodies that we have in campus, there is no such preference or quota or anything for any of the programs. It is open to everybody, so nobody's going to say, oh my god, you're from BA, probably you take up something that is relevant to your background. That is not at all there.
Right.
So being in SAC myself, I feel that it gives me a lot more exposure other than what a BA program can give. It gives me a lot more exposure on how to interact with more people, how to get the business mindset set. So I think being in BA, it actually helps you in the academic aspect as to what you can learn, and how, as a new program, you can leverage whatever is already there and probably give more feedback for the next batches. And the other aspect of it, in terms of college life, I think there is absolutely no difference between how any of the courses work. So I think this is my take on
I'll
the
try to
courses.
add on the plunge part of it, like Anand had asked, to take that plunge into it. So I don't think it's going to be a huge plunge for anyone, because end of the day it's an MBA. So yeah, you kind of take a tech or analytics based specialization. If it doesn't work, or it doesn't work, it's not going to be a big deal, is what even Anusha mentioned the same thing. So any person with any kind of a tech inclination or an interest to kind of maybe foresee a career in tech, it's a very good program to go about.
Right. And just one more point, since Anusha was speaking, I just remembered, while I was taking the decision, I was also concerned about the exchange program.
Right.
So after coming here, I just realized it's absolutely, you have the equal fair chance to get into any exchange program as any other PGP students. So on that front as well, it's absolutely equal.
Right. And Sarthak, as you rightly pointed out, for the first term, I didn't even know that you were a PGPBA student. And for that matter, I learned just today, or rather yesterday, that both these seniors who are so close to me are also PGPBA students.
Yeah.
So absolutely no distinction here in exchange, in most of the courses, placements. Most of the things are rather common. So guys, we're wrapping this up, and one final question to you. Anything you guys as insiders that you want to share with people who are prospecting on PGPBA or are preparing for PGPBA? Your take, Anusha.
Okay, so I think the very first thing that I would like to tell someone is, if you do have multiple things to consider, let's say you have a PGP program in your hand and you have a PGPBA, I think the very first thing that one would see is, okay, how this program is new, so should I actually pursue it, or should I take something that's been there for a while? So I think this is something that should be a personal choice, and it should be based on how you want to carry yourself, if you want to add some relevance to your experience. So I think being a new course, it should not be taken lightly, because the course as such is actually heavy, and it demands the MBA life. It does demand a lot from you. So it is just a matter of decision on what you exactly want to do. So it is no less because it's a new program. That is one thing that I would say. And it is not a technical course. That is how it has to be, and that is how it is. At least for the forthcoming batches, I think it is going to be more business oriented, more application based, and it's just that it will be data driven, but it is going to be how managers would see, how businesses would see, and nothing less than that. So I think it should not also be taken as a course that is like a backdoor entry to anything. It is just another 2-year program that if you want to specialize in something, because personally I feel the world is moving towards a specialization over generalization, and that's why I think a lot of IIMs are actually bringing up specialized courses, and Bangalore being the tech hub, I think gives more relevance to PGP in business analytics, and I think we have a lot of opportunities here. So I think it should be seen as a course that is actually adding more relevance to what's happening outside. So if the interest lies in this, then definitely go for BA. But if you still have things to figure out, let's say you're interested in any other field, then if you do have a PGP in your hand, and I think you should go for that. So it is completely your choice based on what you want to do.
Right. Sarthak, your take.
Yeah, so I think Anusha covered quite a lot of it. So one thing, I'll just give it in a one-liner, which is it's not a niche course at all. It's absolutely as powerful, as equivalent to any PGP program. It's just that if your interest lies into something like analytics, like for me, this was the case that I'm a tech-oriented person. I don't want to leave the tech side, even if I want to enter into businesses.
Right.
So for those kinds of people, I would say it's a perfect go-ahead. For others, I would still say that you should think about it. If you want to learn more on this side, then it's not like if you don't have any there's no prerequisite. Like you don't know coding, that's also fine, because you will learn here from the business perspective. You'll become managers, right? So from that front as well, I would say make an informed decision. Don't consider any other aspect like it will be a different program, it's not that recognized or anything. It's absolutely equal in every other aspect. So yeah, that's my take.
And the last lap,
Right.
Niranjan.
So pretty much these two have covered a lot of these. So one important point that I would like to add is this BA program is literally at the frontier of things in how the business is moving on. So it's always good to be on the frontier, but it always comes at a cost. You need to kind of put in a more effort. You have to learn a lot, but eventually it's going to be a lot of fun. Because every day, every course, we learn a lot of things that we kind of feel, okay, this is how that things work on. And this is the potential, or this is the scale at which things could become laterally, linearly, whatever they could be. So that is one thing that you always will be in the frontier of things in terms of both tech, data and business parts. So it's a triangle comprising of the tech part of it, the data and the business. And to be in that triangle is a very, very rare opportunity that we have. That is what I would say. Second thing would be that this decision, think into it, and you can always reach out to us. Anusha added that we were the first batch, so we had a lot of uncertainties and we didn't know what to ask. Now you will have 2 more batches to aid ahead at. So it's gonna be a very interesting and a very smooth journey if you choose to take it. So all the very best is what we could say. And we hope to meet you, and as we become alums, we hope to meet you here as well.
Right. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
This is a very shrouded topic, I believe, and you've demystified it for a lot of our viewers here, and I'm very confident that they'll benefit a lot from it. Thanks, Manik, once again.